The people of Canada, it is now that I have understood. I bring such tragic news to you all, and this tragic news will change or retransform our country of Canada. In our national anthem, we say, God, keep our land glorious and free. But there's one thing, or there's a secret, or an agenda, or a hidden plan, is to completely indebt us. What am I talking about? This is what I bring you. Trudeau to raise Canada debt ceiling 57% to $1.4 trillion. This is a major issue for Canadians. One, the country's sparsely populated. They keep bringing in more and more people to bring up the population levels. Unfortunately, the locals can't afford to have kids here because housing is out of reach. People have been out of reach for housing since pretty much 2010. It's been so far out of whack from average wage earners, and we've lost many people to this massive brain drain we've been having for the last 20 years in Canada. That's why you have 30 million plus Canadians living in America. 30 plus million living in America since 1974. This is a major issue. Canada needs to maintain, retain, and keep its people growing, flourishing. But when you can't get first-time homebuyers in the housing market, you don't have an economy. So here it is. Trudeau to raise. So let's go over this. It's a very short article. Canada plans to increase the midterm debt ceiling by 57 points as it embarks on a record borrowing to fight the COVEY. Again, they're going to blanket it with COVEY. And if you watch the channel before, watch this channel before COVEY. Watch before COVEY. We've been falling apart since then. Property taxes going up, housing going up, cost of living going up, layoffs. So this is nothing new. This is the same thing that's happened in Australia, New Zealand, UK, and Western United States, New York, and Massachusetts and Illinois. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government will put forward a bill to raise the maximum borrowing level to $1.83 trillion. That's $1.41 trillion, up from the current limit of $1.17 trillion. The government said in a budget documents released on Monday, the new amount is expected to cover the project borrowings until the end of the fiscal year of 2023-2024. Canada is raising the cap as part of a broad plan to cushion the economy from the consequences of the pandemic. Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland projects $381.6 billion deficit in the current fiscal year, up from an earlier estimate of $343.2 billion. The fiscal year begins April 1st. The deficit is expected to be $1.2 billion. The projection of $50.7 billion for 2022 and 2023. So now this is a major issue because it's going to put Canadians into further debt. They're going to be in a death grip, right? And that's basically debt. So for the average Canadian right now, I think it's roughly every Canadian's on the hook for about $19,000 to $20,000 per citizen. I think it's going to raise it. This will raise it to about 27, maybe 30,000 per citizen will be on the hook for this debt. And this is way going past proportion, way going past. And now with small businesses being shut down left, right, and center because of this sickness, it's gonna be a lot worse than projected. So let's take a look here. The best way for Canada to honor our credit obligation is to have a strong, growing economy, said Freeland. We also understand the importance of capital markets for rating agencies and forwarding guidance. So again, borrowing, you're just kicking the can down the road. That's all you're doing. You're kicking the can up the next block or 2 blocks up the street now. That's what they're doing. So you're creating the stimulus, you're pumping in money into the markets. Canada's been on a bond buying spree. We covered that earlier last month. Canada's been on a major bond buying spree and government buyback and mortgage debt securities and all kinds of stuff. And Canada's balance sheet is way out of whack. The Canadian dollar weakened to 1.3 per US dollar at 5:03 p.m. In Toronto. It had traded as high as 1.29 on Monday morning. Gross debt issuance for the current fiscal year is expected to be $703 billion, unchanged from the projections made in July, but the government is turning to short-term markets for a greater share of the money. Treasury bill issuance will rise $329 billion, about $35 billion more than the previous estimates, while issuance of 2, 3, and 5-year bonds will decline. Yep, that's going to happen for sure. Canada's 5-year yield marginally declined at 0.43 from 0.433 before the budget figures was released. So this is nothing. So the only people that would buy this are people that need to hedge against any capital gains, and that's rich people would buy this. For fiscal 2021-22, Canada plans to join other groups of 7 countries, including Germany, UK, selling green bonds earlier this month. Canada Mortgage and Housing Corp, a federal agency, said it'll be working on a new framework that will allow to sell sustainable labeled debt. Okay, so this is mortgage-backed and debt-backed securities is what this is. The government said it is also considering opening its 50-year bond. Argentina's done its 100-year bond, and it hasn't done well. Now, what's going to happen here? Canada's going to borrow to the moon, and that's what's going to happen. There's one way we could fix this. Raise interest rates. Look at my eyes. Raise interest rates to 5-6%, and your problem will be solved. Housing will get corrected. First-time home buyers can get back in the markets, and things will start to, you'll start to see the skin shed, all the fake skin shed right off, and start reclaiming properties from illegal money laundering that's been happening through Canada. Billions of dollars shadow flipped through housing, and shadow bought and shadow flipped, and shadow banking. All kinds of garbage that's been happening just to prop up our economy, because Canada will be in a recession without money laundering. We've covered that, and we talked about that. And that's what's happening right now. Canadians, it is with great sadness that I bring this to you. I don't even know what to do. Canada's borrowing more than it could expect to pay back. And with government shutdowns and all that stuff, I don't know what to say. Guys, don't forget, no one really subscribes to the channel, but if you don't mind subscribing to the channel and being part of the channel, we got Mike of the Night here, and I'm setting up all the episodes here coming up live. These are all the previous. We talk about this on the show. We have a lot of call-ins. So if you want to call into the show and be part of it, we get tons of people calling in. And same thing with trends in the housing market. We've been doing this for many years now. And if you want to be part of it, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. And don't bother hitting the bell, because you won't get notifications from this channel. Let me know what you guys think. Canada, I'm sorry. Australia's doing the same thing, but Canada, I think, is going to be the first domino to fall in the Commonwealth. I thought it was Australia was going to fall first, then New Zealand, and then the UK, then Canada, but it looks like Canada's going to go first. Let me know, comment below. Thanks for watching.